Professor Atik has joined. We are live. Professor Atik has joined. We are live now. Please start.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? We are living in a moment of historic importance. COVID-19 is a global biological threat. The virus is rewriting our imagination. What we said impossible has become thinkable. The spring and summer season of 2020 is suggestive of how much and how quickly we can change as a civilization. But do we know what changes we want? What changes would really benefit ourselves and the world we live in? We are interconnected as a biosphere and a civilization. To change requires a wisdom. And to attain wisdom, we need to look up to the Almighty to grant us the wisdom, understanding, knowledge to embrace change and move confidently and positively to the future. So I will request Dr. J. Andrew, Associate Professor in the Department of Zoology and also the chaplain of the college, to please say a word of prayer before we begin the webinar. Thank you.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, Almighty God, we give you praise and thanks for yet another day in our lives. Thank you for the education we have received and all other comforts of life. As we are gathered together as educationists to discuss environmental disasters, issues and challenges, let the time that we spend here be useful and the deliberations truly beneficial to the society. Help us to pass on the benefit of the knowledge we gather here to our students who are the future of this great country. We especially pray for the poor and the deprived who bear the major brunt of all wrongs done by the educated and the privileged. Lord, we pray, guide us and lead us throughout the discussions. Bless the speaker with your wisdom. Bless the patrons, organizers, resource persons, and all participants abundantly. Bless this nation, guide our leaders and the policy makers. Let thy will be done and thy name be glorified through this webinar. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Respected Professor Ashok Mittalji, our Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Agra, Dr. S.P. Singh, Principal, St. John's College, Agra, Dr. Atiq Rahman, Department of Geography, Jamia Millia Islamia University, New Delhi, Dr. P.A. Majid, Head of Department of Geography, St. John's College, and Chairperson of the International Webinar Series, all conveners, Dr. J. Andrew, the chaplain, Dr. Preeti Masih, Dr. Vidhu Grace Noel, Dr. Bob Stanley Gardner, Dr. Rohan J. D'Souza, Dr. Mahima Habel Massey, Ms. Shalomin Sharma, Mrs. Barkha Bain Singhal, not to forget the most important people of the organizing committee, Mr. Sandeep Nayak and Mr. Rohit Johnson, and all our esteemed fellow participants. A very good morning to all of you. As the spread and far-reaching impacts of COVID-19 continues to dominate world news, we witness and experience the parallel spread of worry, helplessness, anxiety, and related negativity due to various occurrences of geohazards globally. We are living through the worst locust attacks in 70 years. Africa, Iran, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Argentina, Brazil are all affected by it. In the past 2 months, India alone has experienced 20 earthquakes of various intensities. Both the east and west coast have been hit by cyclones and related devastations. Floods and flood-like situations continue to threaten north and northeastern and central parts of India. 315 people died of lightning strikes in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar alone. Countries like Canada, China, Malaysia, Ireland, Japan are also facing floods and mudslides and flood-like situations. Indonesia faces forest fires, while Australia, having faced the worst forest fires, just had an avalanche to mark the beginning of the winter season in the southern hemisphere. Whereas in the northern hemisphere, Wakoyanks, a small town in Siberia, at 67.5-degree north latitude, 70 miles inside the Arctic Circle, recorded an all-time high temperature of 38 degrees Celsius on June 20th, which is the official first day of summer season. So, according to climate experts, this was due to the prolonged Siberian heat. They declare that we are in a climate emergency and we need to evolve an integrated response to these disasters. The Department of Geography has organized today's international webinar to discuss the environmental challenges we face. And for this, we have Professor Atiq Rahman from the Department of Geography, Jamia Millia Islamia University, to speak in greater detail. But before that, we would like to request our very supportive principal, Professor S.P. Singh, to address the gathering. So, please.
Please unmute yourself.
Yeah. I take this opportunity to extend a very hearty welcome to Professor Atikur Rahman, the expert for the webinar on environmental disaster issues and concern, a global perspective, on behalf of St. John's College, Agra. On behalf of the college, I would also take this opportunity to welcome all the participants who have logged in from different parts of the country. And I wish you a very meaningful and enriching webinar experience.
Hello.
Thank you. I would request Dr. Majid to introduce the speaker for the day.
Hello, good morning to everybody. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
You are.
Sir.
Yes, sir. You can.
Well, I'm just going to introduce Dr. Atikur Rahman. Dr. Atikur Rahman is a professor of geography at Department of Geography, Faculty of Natural Sciences, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi, India. He is alumnus of Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. His research interest is on urban environmental management, water resource, and application of remote sensing satellite data, GIS and GPS. He worked as a postdoctoral fellow at UFZ Center for Environmental Research, Leipzig, Germany in 1999. He was the visiting scientist, Department of Geography and Geophysics, University of Leipzig, Germany, 2000. He was co-PI of Indo-Germany DST DAAD major project 2000 to 2002. He is a recipient of prestigious Young Scientist Project Grant Award 2001 to 2004 from Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. He worked as one of the members of scientific research team of NASA funded UEM project on urban ecology and sustainability in 2004 to 2007. He is the co-PI Indo-Canadian major research projects funded by ICMR, India and CHI, Canada in 2010 to 2015. He was co-PI of a major research project funded by Ministry of Environment and Forest Government of India. He is the collaborating scientist of NASA funded major projects on impacts of desert urbanization on climate 2012 to 2015. Professor Rahman has also done professional development initiative training on climate change and its impact, resilience and adaptation to changes in precipitation at Brown University, USA in 2010. He served as a steer committee member in 2009 to 2012 of Population and Environment Research Network based at CISIN, Columbia University, USA. He is the advisor, technical consultant on remote sensing and GIS for the project in 2014 to 2015 on the effects of built environment and physical activity and CMD disease risk factors. He has published 7 books and 80 peer-reviewed research papers in various national and international journals. He has widely traveled to various countries in Europe, Africa, Canada, and USA to attend conferences and science committee meetings. On my own behalf and behalf of entire geography department in St. John's College, I welcome Dr. Atikur Rahman, sir, for your lecture on the topic environmental disaster issues and challenges, a global perspective, in the series of 7th webinar from our department. Dr. Atikur Rahman, sir, please.
Professor Atik, if you could unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
sir,
yes.
Can you hear me now? So I'm
Yes,
audible?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Majid, for such an exhaustive introduction and word of your praise. A very good morning to all of you. I'm very thankful to the Vice Chancellor of B.R. Ambedkar University, Agra, Professor Ashok Mittal ji. I'm very thankful to Professor S.P. Singh, the principal of this very famous and prestigious St. John's College. I used to hear a lot about this college by Professor M.H. Qureshi Sahab, who happened to be there long ago. So once I log in on the Zoom platform for this webinar, I saw the beautiful picture. I was very impressed, and that speaks volume about the structure, character, and the quality of the college that used to be, I suppose, it must be still there. It may maintaining its legacy. I'm very thankful to Dr. P.A. Majid, the head of department, chairperson of the Geography department at Young College. I'm more especially thankful to Dr. Chauhan, the convener of this conference, and especially I'm very pleased and thanks to my own HOD, Professor Mary Tahir. She was very kind enough and asked me to spare some time and give a talk on this webinar. So in that way, I'm very happy and pleased. This is my honor to be with you all this morning. I'm going to speak on important issue. As I've been asked, let me share my screen. As I've been asked to speak on some issues which are globally known and even locally known. That is not new, but I'll try to orient some of the important issues which we know, but we are least concerned about it. So in that context, I'll be speaking specifically on environmental disaster, issues and challenges, a global perspective. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your screen is quite clear.
Okay. So basically, as I have been told by the organizer and my own head, Professor Mary Tahir, to say something on this environmental issues and disaster. So with that objective, I've tried to frame this topic, environmental disaster issues and challenge, a global perspective. So I'll be talking on some of the important issues within that domain, and then I'll be touching upon some of it. I'll speak more in general on the global perspective and some at the local level also. So if I start my discussion with a very important introductory slide, and which says the Earth's limit. Just to synthesize the issue and the whole whole perspective of the global environmental disaster. If I talk about the Earth's limit, the quote says that the Earth is finite. Its ability to absorb food is finite. Its ability to provide energy is finite. Its ability to absorb waste and destructive effluent is finite. But what the point which I am trying to put before you with this quote is that we nowhere think of this finite word. This is not in our dictionary, but it should be. We feel that Earth is limitless resources. Water is, we have abundant of water. That is again limitless. No. In the age of globalization, urbanization, what we are seeing that where to throw out your waste, that we do not have a place to destroy all the waste. Now, if you see the same in the same context, another quote. Moreover, we are fast approaching many of the Earth's limit. Earth's limit, that is a finite limit. What I have mentioned above. The current economic practices that damages the environment in both developed and underdeveloped nations cannot be continued without the risk that vital global system will be damaged beyond repair. Now, the point what I'm trying to convey is that in the current economic growth, economic practices, what we are doing as of now, if we keep doing like that, what will happen in the whole world? What is going to happen? The globe, what we are seeing on the left side of this slide, this is going to be damaged. The whole vital global system will be damaged, and the damage is not that damage, which is going to be beyond unrepairable. I used to give a lot of examples in my classes. Again, I'll say that if something happens, a smaller thing that happens to on anybody, what we do is we go and कभी थोड़ा सा कुछ कहीं कट जाता है तो जाते हैं हम बैंडेड ले लेते हैं लगा लेते हैं. But what happens if the something mishappening happens, that then you have to go for surgery and all. But at certain stage of time in the old age especially, this damage cannot be even fixed. If it get broken, maybe hand and leg in old age, 70, 80 years, that cannot be fixed in. So this is a very important, quote that I used to often cite, that is published in the Natural Resource Journal in 2001. So with this whole, this connotation, I'll speak on, maybe for 45 minutes, an hour or so, whatever the organizers allow me. My whole this talk will be, within the three broad category. One is the population, and second will be the economic growth, uh, uh, and then third is the impact, environmental impact at the global level. So let us see some of the fact and figure about the population growth. Now, if you see this one, this is a map that has been created by the organization that is called Season in USA. They have made this slide, and what I see here, as a student of geography, what we see that the population. Just a minute, please. Yes, what we see here, we see the whole world and the population. If we see that is painted in one color, as per 2011 figure of United Nations, it says 7 billion population. That is in one color, but it is not so. Now we see the population, of the world continent-wise. What we see, the Asia, then Africa, and all. That again gives a very generalistic view. Now we see the country-wise population. What I see, the China, India, and some Southeast Asian countries. I'll move my cursor and you can see some of the Southeast Asian countries which are having very high population. But this figure also does not give you the exact idea. With this figure, what we see, the whole India is having the same population distribution, but it is not so. Now, if you see the population distribution in terms of density, what we see, this Indo-Gangetic plain and the coastal area, southern India, and other parts of the country is highly densely populated. If you see the China, eastern part of China, and Southeast Asian and small countries having high density of population. If you go to United States, what we see, the coastal, United States is having high population. So this gives you the exact picture of population distribution. What where are the population concentration is. So as I said that before going straight away to the disaster, environmental disaster, any problem, we need to see the root cause of the problem. And somewhere or the other, what we talk about, that population is the root cause of the problem in India, which is commonly, you must have seen, you must have talked with the friends and colleagues in the department and outside. But as a student of geography, I do not see this as a problem. I see that population is one of the important resource, the biggest resource. I do not see population as a problem. At the initial stage, what I see that the population is the biggest resource. The next thing that comes into picture is characteristics of population. What is the age of the population? What is the literacy? What is health condition? What is employment? And many more things. So in that way, yes, and at the later stage, I can say that population could be a problem, but the most important, how educated your population of the country is, how well trained your population of the country is, which can contribute in the developmental process. Now, if you see the population growth, what I see here, that I have divided the word population to see the word population distribution into developed countries and developing countries. Now, if we see this one from 1950 to 2030, the project population. This flat line shows the population distribution, population growth, not the distribution of the developed nation, wherein we have seen the rural and urban. This is the rural population in the world, westward developed nation, and this is the urban population, which is increasing very little less rate. But if we see the India's and developing countries like India, what we see from 2015 or so, it has crossed. That means the urban population is going up and the rural population is going down. That is nothing new. This is very common. Many of the things that what I'm sharing with you, you know, but I'm trying to orient, trying to sensitize you on the basic problem and the issues what we face. So what we have, there is, the from 2015, 16 something, the urban population has gone up. Why it is so? Because there is a simple reason that there's mass migration from the rural areas in a countries like India, and that is true. That holds true in many other countries of the developing nation, because economic activities are not there in rural areas. So what we have, that people start migrating from small village to bigger villages, and from bigger villages to smaller towns, and from smaller towns to bigger towns, and then to metropolitan cities like Delhi. That we call as a step migration. So that is what the state of affair when we talk about. Now let us see. Many of the people do not understand in terms of graph and maps. So for them, and to make it more clear, if we see the textual data, the global scenario of urban population. Now I'm trying to orient towards the no, urban population and urban areas, because what we see today is that it is the urban areas, urban agglomeration that is causing the main, most important, problem and issues. So therefore, let us come to the domain of urban areas and urban population. If you see in 1900 globally, less than 15% people were living in urban areas. By 2010, 50% as per United Nations Population Fund 2011 figure, 50% of world population were living in urban areas. And it is projected that by 2030, more than 60% of world population will be residing in the urban area. Now, let us see the India scenario of urbanization and urban population. In 1951, 17% people were in urban areas. 25.7% were in 1991. We all know this census data. 2001, 28%. And today, something 31.2, 31.4%. And by 2030, it is going to be 41% people going to live in urban areas. So what will happen? I'm giving you the slide with the idea that what is happening once the population increase. There is a term that is called the global population increase and shrinking Earth. So what will happen? The Earth is going to shrink, because as I said, that Earth is a limited and Earth has a finite. So what we have, the land is finite. If you see this bigger circle of the globe of the Earth, in 1900, the world land per hectare of the land, the share of land per capita was 7.91, which decreased to 5.15 hectare in 1950, and then similarly keep on increasing. So it does not mean that the Earth's globe is shrinking, but it gives an idea that the per capita land is decreasing, and by 2030 it is going to be 1.69. So as I said, the land is the most important resource. And if you bear with me and if you allow me, जैसे ही हमारे पास कुछ सैलरी वैली बढ़ती है, पैसे कहीं आ जाते हैं, तो what we look into कि चलो कहीं जमीन ले लें. So the land which is usable for any economic activity, be the agriculture, be other industrial or residential, is very limited. You cannot do all such activities on all piece of land. So I'm trying to show you that land is shrinking. That means resource is shrinking, not the whole earth is shrinking. Now let us come after the population fact and figure. The primary historical driver of global environmental problems. One is the massive population increase, that is high growth and less death rate. We have the population theories, we have read it in geography, population geography, and there are different stages. So this massive population increase, what I've showed you before that, is maybe because of less death rate, because of the advancement of health services, medical health services, and so and so. Then the second is a rapid technological innovation. This is very important. Technological innovation, that looks very important, very nice, which leads to extraction of resources and exploitation of resources. So extraction is fine, fair enough, but exploitation of resources is a very dangerous issue. Now, I don't have time, otherwise I could speak on a little bit detail on such points, but I'll keep moving little bit faster. And if you see the third point, what I have put it, The first and two, that is population increase and technological innovation, leads to explosion in energy use. That is first to, leads to, explosion in energy use that we see. I'll supplement with the facts and figures. What all I'm putting before you, I'm not putting my own idea and my own, my own observation, but what I'm speaking before you this morning with full confidence with the facts and figures, which has been published in the reputed journals and documented in important gazettes of the government of India and other gazettes of the world organizations. So this will lead to energy use. And the third is economic integration that is promoted through liberalization, globalization, and that lead to mass consumption. So this word is very fascinating. That looks very nice. Liberalization and globalization. Liberal economy is very good. Globalization is very good. Global connectivity is very good. That is very good in terms of common people, in terms of consuming the resources, and that leads to mass consumption, mass consumerism. Uh, Again, I'll give an example that there is a theory, economic theory of Rastos, the model of economic growth. And in that theory, he proposed, he was an American historian, economic historian, and he proposed 5 stages. I'm not going to speak on all those 5 stages. You all know very well, but I'll connect the fifth stage of the Rastos model that is called mass consumption. So mass consumption is a symbol of development. That is very good. But from where all these things will come and what is going to happen? I'm trying to connect you in the domain of environmental disaster, environmental problems, global or local. So what will happen is energy use and economic integration that leads to mass consumption, that will lead to n number of problems, n number of environmental disasters. So what we have is, say, for example, global warming, sea level rise, submersion of coastal land, deforestation, desertification, cyclonic storm. We have seen, recently the various storms in the Maharashtra coast and the Orissa coast, Bengal coast. Water crisis, melting of snow and ice, forest fire. We are seeing everywhere, in Europe and America. Earthquakes, tsunamis, we are experiencing every day, not even every day, a couple of earthquakes, earthquake, every 2 or 3 earthquakes every day, episode of earthquake every day in the NCR. That is very unfortunate and very, different. Then food production is a big crisis, health impact, and a long unending list. If I keep on adding, you may be knowing that you can say this problem, this problem, this problem. Now, I just give a glimpse of, environmental disaster. I'll be touching upon 2 issues. That is global warming, increasing greenhouse gases and temperature, what Madam Chauhan was talking about just a little before, and the water crisis, melting of snow and ice, because these 2 are the most important for survival of the human organism, especially the human population. What we see that air and water, and then comes the land. So what we are seeing today is the big crisis, whole world, COVID-19. A couple of days before, we have got read some of the articles by the scientists across the globe. They are saying that this virus is going to, be present in the air. So that is another big issue. How far it is correct, it's not validated. Maybe WHO will say something. So I'll be touching some of these 2 issues very quickly. Before touching these 2 issues, what we have, let us talk about the development and economic growth. Because somewhere or the other, I feel that the technology, the word development, globalization is the main culprit to the environment and the nature, with the local environment, surrounding environment, and global environment. But in other words, it's good that economic growth takes place with the various activities and quality of life, so to say. I do not say that in terms of as a urban Joffer or Joffrey student. That is not the quality of life, that you have everything but you breathe and eat and drink the poor quality of air and water. So anyways, let us see something about the development and economic growth pattern, facts and figures. Now if we see the word GDP, from 1982, the word GDP, nominal GDP of the word in trillion dollar, what we have is going up. And from very say this is 12.5 trillion dollar, which was global no, GDP in 82, that has increased to more than 100 trillion dollar by 2016, a little before. Now, if you see the GDP of China, Euro area, United States, and Japan, all these countries have very sharp increase in GDP. This is as per the data of International Monetary Fund. Now let us see the GDP of the Africa as a continent-wise, Africa, Asia, and Middle East, and Organization of Economic Growth, Economic and Cooperation and Development, OECD. This again shows increase. No, but Africa, the data, if you see, this is not that much, high growth rate from 1950 to 2001. Now let us see the GDP and GNP of the India. Now we see the 2006 data. What we see, this is data from Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. 2006 India GDP per capita was 740, and that increased slowly, and by 2014 it has increased to 1165 dollar. Now, if we see the GNP, what we see again 2006, it was some 32,000, that has increased to close to 10,000. The steps, increasing steps, like structure looks very nice, very fine. We want to have more, high steps in terms of annual, economic growth and so and so. Let us see what will happen. What will happen when the economic growth will take place? What will happen? This is going to happen. What we have, n number of cars, and if I've showed you before that energy consumption. What has happened once the energy consumption? How the energy consumption is increasing? Because of the ownership of four-wheeler or two-wheeler has increased drastically, especially in the urban areas. Now, what we see, if we see this, so well organized parking, that is from somewhere, I got it from the net. What will happen once you have the money in your pocket? Even if you do not have the house, you do not have anything, but you go and look for a car, you'll buy a car. और हम कार खरीदते हैं और जहाँ कार जाने लायक नहीं होती वहाँ भी उसको लेके जाते हैं. Why it has become possible? Because of the, again, say, the globalization. There are a lot of private players that has come up, banks and so. So they are funding you. Even if you have 10,000 of in your pocket, you can buy a car of, say, 10 lakhs or 5 lakhs. So what will happen? This is another important issue that is going to happen when we have the higher economic growth and, as I said, the technological development and energy consumption. Now, this is the supplementing slide of this. What I'm showing you here, the per capita car, the high, car ownership, a two-wheeler, four-wheeler. Now you see this World Bank 2012 data, energy use in kilogram of oil equivalent per capita. If you see the 1960 figure and up to 2010 figure, what we have, the energy, per capita energy consumption of the different countries. If you see here, Canada, United States, Norway, France, they were using very high energy since long time. Since long time, in the sense that if you see the 1960 figure, they were using 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, liter of oil per capita. And even if see today, the trend is almost not very changed, but is on the increasing side. Now, if you see the energy use consumption of India is slowly going up, not that much. Now let us see that if we burn so much of energy, what is going to happen? There are a lot of emission that comes out, and one of the most important emission is CO2. The global total primary energy supply by fuel million metric tons. From where? From coal comes to 26%, then oil 44%, and a biofuel like this. That was a state in 1971, but by 2014, what has happened? Coal has little increased, oil has decreased, natural gas has decreased. Now see the hydrocarbons, they are the same. So there is slight change, in the biofuel from 71 to 2014. Now, if we see, plot this data of, say, for example, whole world from where this, this CO2 is being emitted, from where it is coming. Now, we see Schneider study of 2010. What we see that this much of CO2 is being emitted from China, then followed by United States, then Russia, and then India, and then a smaller circle shows the smaller emission of CO2. So I'll be taking this issue because we all know that or that in the age of global warming, what we are experiencing today, out of 6 greenhouse gases, CO2 is the largest contributor and it contributes little more than 60%, followed by methane, nitrous oxide, and other. So from where all this comes, global greenhouse gas emission by various economic activities. The 2010 data show that 12% comes from building material, 11% from industry, and so and so. Now, if we see what is happening when we have the increase of these gases, what is going to happen? CO2 is going to increase. If you see the very long-term data, 1080 to 2080, what we have, the CO2 carbon dioxide concentration is going up like a pillar. If you see the nitrous oxide, again there is a sharp increase. Methane, there is again sharp increase. Sulfur aerosol, all these shows very sharp increase. These are data of IPCC and UNEP. Now, if you see what is going to happen, the resultant impact is going to happen in terms of increase in surface temperature. If you see the NASA study that was published on an important journal, what it shows, they have tried to study the data of 1880 to 2015. What you see, the temperature increase is a little bit, plus minus change, annual mean and 5-year mean. Now, if we relate these CO2 concentration with the global temperature and sea level rise, what we see here, the study that has been conducted by James and all in 2011, what it shows? It shows that the global CO2 is increasing. If you see the data of 400 long back and up to 400, what we see, there is a strong match between the peaks. Once we have the high concentration of CO2, what we have, the global temperature has increased, and one temperature increase, what will happen? Obviously, the sea level is going to rise. So it is completely fitting in, and if you see the other data, say for example, if you relate the population, carbon, nitrogen, CO2, and temperature, all these trends are going up, and they are meeting at common point, say from data from 1860 to 2000. What it shows that with the population increase, the increase in emission of all these taking place, and with that, what is happening? Temperature is increasing, but there is a lot of ups and downs. So it is not only the population which contributes to the temperature, but there are a lot of other activities that also contribute to the global temperature increase. Now, if you see the IPCC report, what it says, the global warming of climate system, what is global average temperature is going up. If you see if you see this axis, x-axis, what we have, 1850 to 2000, what we have, global temperature increase going up, global sea level rise, and northern hemisphere is known as temperature is going down. And if you see the IPCC report of 2013, what it says, it corroborates the global scale warming trend and substantiated by the rise in average temperature in the range of 0.8 degrees centigrade for a period of 1901 to 2012, which is predominantly because of the anthropogenic factor. Now, let us see some more. What will happen? As I said that I have taken up the issue of global warming, what is going to happen? The global mean temperatures are rising. So what do you see with this trend line from 1860 again to 2000? annual mean temperature. These dots shows the annual mean temperature linear trend, and this is the smooth freeze. So what we have? So temperature is, that is increasing. So the important issue is that we all know that it's increasing, and and the sea level is increasing and snow is melting. But important issue is that we need to know from where all. We need to quantify it, and we need to understand the no rate of increase or decrease, and we need to understand the factors why it is so, why it is not like that, why it is like that, and then we need to look for a solution. That is the main issue. So if we see the important issue, that if you see this, at the in the end, in the top right of this graph, the worrisome is that the most important issue that I'm trying to highlight is that the warmest 12th warmest year that has happened, say for example in 1980 onward, and if you see 1980, 1999, 2005, 2003, 2002, 4, 2006, 2001, and so and so, and these were the warmest year, in the last 12 warmest year that has taken place in the last 20 or 25 years or so. That is the most important worrisome. Many people argue that it is not the age of, global warming is a hype. The president of the United States also say that there is nothing to worry about the climate change. It is a hype and all, but it is not so, because we all know as a student of geography that the whole Earth is full of cycle, warming and cooling, warming, cooling. So I feel that this is the age of warming, based on the data that has been presented by various scientists. Now we see what is going to happen once this the temperature increase will take place. What will happen? The snow and ice, melting will take place. Now fine, it will take place, but where all? From where all? That is important issue. If you see this Greenland data, and that has been done by some scientists, and if you see the melting of snow and ice from the Greenland, this is a 1992 picture, and this is 2000. In the last 10 years, in the 10 years from 92 to 2002, with the assumption that there is increase of 1 degree centigrade temperature as per IPCC report, little less than 1 degree centigrade, what is going to happen? This all this red patches has increased. That means on from all these lands, the snow and ice has melted. This was a melting in 1992, and this has happened in 2002. That clearly shows the ground reality, that melting of snow ice, which is taking place. And this will happen if there is increase of 1 degree. If there is increase of little more than 1 degree, obviously what will happen, the melting will be little more. Now see this another picture. There is no modeling done in the satellite data of that is released by NASA. In 1984, the Arctic Sea ice. Now you see in 1984, this was white patches that shows the reserves of the snow ice. But what has happened in 2012? This has been melted, and little bit bluish pattern. What you see, there's a lot of deposition here. Ice is snow, but it hasn't melted. You see, and it is not has been melted only in terms of volume, but in terms of depth. In terms of area, it is, you see the in terms of area, but the depth has also increased. So both the issues are important, depth and in terms of melting of aerial snow ice cover. This is the state of snow ice at Arctic Sea. What is going to happen? The Greenland and Antarctica, this trend shows decreasing. That means the snow ice is decreasing at what rate? From 2003 to 2009 on both Greenland and Antarctica. There's another picture which I'm showing you. Is very important, very interesting picture in the sense that retreating of Gangotri Glacier. Gangotri Glacier has retreated 25 in the last 25 years, 850 meters. And if you see, this is that has been documented by the researcher. This is state of 2001, then 1780, and this picture I got it from a very important document. There's atlas that is called One Planet and Many People, that atlas of our changing environment, that has been published by UNEP and NASA Earth Observatory. So there are very beautiful maps and picture that is there in the nice volume of this atlas. I always advise my students to buy and have a look on all these. So the aster imagery of NASA that shows this picture shows of is of to September 2001. So Glacier terminus retreated by 3 kilometers. If you see the distance, this is 3 kilometers. So this is another surprising fact. Now, what is happening? Uh, the cities are getting vulnerable to sea level rise. What are you seeing today? If you see this World Health Organization 1996 data, these are the river basin. Mahanadi, Krishna, Godavari, Ganga, all these are getting vulnerable. Cities are vulnerable to sea level rise. What we are experiencing in the urban areas, a lot of flooding because of a lot of issues. One is the local issues of the urban areas, and then further because increasing sea level rise. Now, water level at lakes. As I said that I'll be talking something on the global level at the local level also. Now, if you see at the local level, say for example, we all know there are four important lakes at the border of United States and Canada, Lake Superior, Erie, Ontario, and all. So, average water level, lake level has going down. Because of many factors. One is the factor of precipitation and recharge of the lakes from the groundwater and rainfall. So this is going to happen. Now this is very important picture, and that speaks volume. When we talk about the temperature increase and water crisis, severity of water shortages in the lakes, and when we have the shortage of water in lakes, so what will happen? We'll face a shortage of water, and that we have started facing. Now, if you see this Landsat data, there is no analysis done in this, Aral Lake, which is the world's fourth largest freshwater lake. In 1977, this is nothing but the picture Landsat data of 77. This blue color shows the fresh water. In 1989, what is he? The beds of this Aral Lake has exposed. These are the lands with little bit, deposition in the bed of the river lake. Then, if you see, these are the deposition. These are the deposition, mainly the pollutants and other things. Now, if you see 2006 picture, what has happened? It has further shrink, and by 2014 it has shrink, and we have just a small village pond, very small. All this water has gone. And I was trying to looking for some other satellite image of 2000, maybe 2019. I could not get it. Maybe I'll put, and that will speak further the severity of the problem right from 77 to 2014. The stress will be felt on the word river basin, and this word map shows the high stress, the red color, and the no stress and little less stress. Now if you see the Gulf countries, Northern America, Northern Africa, and several parts of America, and southern part of India, and the northern part of India, where we are facing very high stress in the river basin. Now, if we talk about the water stress at global perspective in a more common terminology and a more common people's understanding, what we see that changes between 1999 to 2000 and 2007. In the last 10, 17 years, what has happened? The decreased level of stress and increased level of stress. Now see, and you can find what is state of affairs. The high, increased level of stress in these parts. So this, you see southern India and the northern part of India that precisely match what we have in the river basin. No? Now, in a more common people terminology, what we see that fresh water stress and billion at risk. If you see the water withdrawal, as I said, the technology development and the technological advancement, which is very good, but at the same time it is very dangerous to the environment, in the sense that if you see the 1995 figure and 2025 figure, what we see, the water withdrawal as percent of total available. So what we see in 1995, this was the water withdrawal for the India. If I talk about India, the water withdrawal was somewhere between 20 to 40%. But if you see by 2020-25, the water withdrawal is somewhere going to be in between more than somewhere around 40 or more than 40%. This is as per UNEP Earthscan data. So what it shows that we are exploiting, as I said in the beginning, the extraction is fine, but exploitation is very serious, very harmful. You know, so that is state of aware in terms of when you talk about the water. Now, if we talk about the in the same context, water footprint, there is a terminology we all know that water global water footprint. It is nothing but this footprint. Water footprint is nothing but is total amount of water needed for by a country, by a state, by a region to produce goods and services that is needed for the people of that area. What is the water footprint? These are the water footprint per capita in meter cube per year. So these are areas where the water footprint is high. Global average is somewhat 1240 liters meter cube per year. 12,000 1240. So this is again very dangerous that for producing any goods and services you need more and more water, and we are leaving this water to the farmers, to the agriculture people, and to the common people for drinking and domestic and other economic activities. Now let us see in a more common term, that is the global water footprint is very high, that is 2,483, and less in other countries. Obviously that relates with the population, but also that relates with the what you call the economic activities, what how fast the economic activities, and how fast we consume the water. As you see the developed nation, they use water more compared to the we people in countries like India. And if I give the data of water consumption in the westward, in the developed nation, the per capita water consumption per day per liter is somewhat around 2,400 2,600. If we talk about the urban areas in India, the water consumption per capita per liter per day is somewhat around 450 to 500 liter per capita per day. But if we talk about the rural areas, villages, it is somewhat around 25 liters, and so and so. So what it shows that with the passage of urbanization in the urban areas, in the more advanced and developed countries, what we are having more and more excess of withdrawal of water, and because of that we feel a stress on the river basin and shortage of water that we are experiencing day by day. And uh, more so is that I said that technology is rather I say the crude statement that technology and nature environment is एक दूसरे के जाती दुश्मन है. इन अ सेंस दैट जैसे जैसे एडवांसमेंट होता है टेक्नोलॉजी का, वैसे वैसे आपका इन्वायरमेंट पे इम्पैक्ट होता जाता है, ज़्यादा उसका और ज़्यादा होता है. So in that way, more and more technology advancement, development, more and more connectivity in globalization, more and more what will happen, the adverse impact on be on our air or global warming on the water is going to be felt. What we are started felting in many parts of the world, that is commonly seen. And the same hypothesis, what I've said in the beginning, that I'm trying to justify, I'm trying to prove with these data and slides. So जैसे जैसे technology बढ़ेगा वैसे वैसे if I give an example in a sense that that will more clear to you that पहले क्या था, hand pipe होते थे in rural areas what we have. So if you have to use a liter of a bucket of water, तो आप सोचते थे कि आधे लीटर आधी बाल्टी पानी से काम चला लो. और कभी घर में कोई कहता था कि बेटा एक बाल्टी पानी भर दो, तो आधा बाल्टी पानी भर के हम लोग भाग जाते थे. Why? Because it was tough to fill one full bucket of water or two bucket of water. Now what we are having with the technology advancement, हमारे पास टुल्लू पंप आ गया. What we do is switch on and then water start filling in tanks or at your house. So what is happening? Then the water level is gone a little bit down. Then again, what we have done, technology has provided that jet pump. We have put a jet pump that can pump water little bit from deeper. फिर उसके बाद उससे भी पानी जब वाटर लेवल नीचे गया, तो what has happened, we are digging further down and we have put the submersible pump. So this way we can clearly see that what is the relation between universally proportional to technology and water withdrawal and the problem what we are facing today. So that is a issue, you know. Now let us see how much water we need for your economic activity, and what all the water is being used from where. So 1 kg of barley wheat production needs 1300 to 1700 liters of water. 1 kg of maize need to somewhat 1000 liter of water. 1 kg of rice need to somewhat more than 3500 liters of water. 1 kg of meat, imagine, needs more than 14,000 liters of water per kg. 1 kg of cotton t-shirt that needs more than 4,000 liters of water. 1 cup of coffee needs 140 liters of water, and 1 cup of tea needs 40 liters of water. Now again, I'll explain this in a more common way, that with the economic growth, what I have talked about, what I have talked about technology, what we have talked about globalization and all, and per capita increasing, GDP or GNP. Now see, this cotton t-shirt. Earlier, what we used to have a very cheap clothes, that is homemade. Now we are getting a very fine quality of cotton and fabrics. We are having cotton t-shirt. हमें अब उस शर्ट में गर्मी लगती है, जो पुराना हमारे थे 50 रुपए मीटर वाले या 10 रुपए मीटर वाले या 100 रुपए मीटर वाले. हम अब we are having more money in our pocket, so what we do is we go for cotton t-shirt, and we say that बहुत comfortable है. So this comfort, I feel that is not the comfort of the body, but is comfort of the mind. I'm sorry to say this statement in front of so much of learned colleagues and teachers, but that holds true. कि अब वो कॉटन टी शर्ट हम लेंगे तो obviously when the need of cotton t shirt will be more water level, we'll have more water. Similarly, once we have the more money in our pocket, the consumption of meat has increased in India, and in the westward, obviously the consumption of the meat is already high since long, but the meat consumption is also related with the increasing the income and money in our pocket. Now this too very important. अब पहले हम चाय पीते थे, बहुत अच्छा रहता था, but now I don't like to drink tea. और हमारे पास बहुत सारे कैफे खुल गए, कॉफी डे एंड बैरिस्टा, जाने कौन कौन से. So we go and enjoy coffee. Now 1 cup of coffee needs 140 liter, 1 cup of tea needs 40 liter of water. So that shows the magnitude of economic growth and impact on the water resources. This slide shows the annual per capita water availability in India. So if we see this 1947, we were having per capita water availability of 6,000, little more than 6,000. And by 2025, we are close to 13 and 40 liters. So if you see, put the graph of economic growth here a little bit down, what will happen? कि यहाँ पे economic growth का graph slow था और ये धीरे धीरे बढ़ रहा है, और यहाँ पे water का graph high था और धीरे धीरे घट रहा है. And if you revert both these, so what will happen? It completely fit in both the graph. So I see this is a very sad state, in a sense that water availability, we all know as a student of geography, history, or as a common citizen, that all the high density population concentration is mainly in the areas where we have the high availability of water, and therefore the coastal areas is of any countries, and wherever the water availability is having high population density. और history में बताया जाता है कि सारे civilization river के along हुई because we need water, most elixir element of the life. तो ये जो हम देख रहे हैं 6,000 liters जो 1946-47 में था हमारा, that has gone down to 1,400, 1,140. And to bear with me, I'm not going to talk about all these texts. Let me say, these are the issues that has been reported by various courts on the state of water in Delhi and urban areas. You can read in between and can listen me also. So let me say that I'll move with one example, that water level, the per capita water level is gone down. That is surprising and that is worrisome for we all. And even if we are going to be the super economic power, and we are super economic power, we are not economically superpower, but also in terms of defense, We have the nuclear weapons and very sophisticated defense weapons for our protection, and that is important that we need. But at the same time, the more the economic liberation, globalization, and economic growth, but at the same time, shocking fact is that we are getting water availability less. So we are moving at one point of at one side economic growth and higher economic power, strong economic power, and other power. But at the same time, we are becoming the water deficient country, water stress country, and a country which has a water availability less than 1500 liters per capita water, they are called water deficient and water stress country. So this is very important. You need more money, you need more weapon and nuclear weapons. We need. Do you want to go to moon and Mars, or we need to have more and more water per capita? So this is very surprising that we are in a stage in a age of water deficient country, which is very surprising and sad. Now this is the fact we all know that I put it from one newspaper. What it says that by 2040, if the consumption keep on going the same state, what will happen? The people are going to leave the places, the areas what we have, especially in the urban areas. And this picture speaks volume. ये राजस्थान का एक कोई पिक्चर है जहाँ की कुएं में पानी लिमिटेड है, इतने लोग लेने वाले हैं, नो. So what do you want in a nutshell? That is my summation in terms of water and in the age of increasing temperature, global warming. So what all we want? Do we want the same state of economic growth and technological advancement, or we want the water for the people so that the life can be sustained? So this is a very serious state of concern. This picture I put it to sensitize you. Now, this is the one aspect. The second aspect is that it's fine that we use the water. As I said, that water consumption is very high in the westward, 2,500 liters per day per capita. But those water, most of the water, they divert and then treat it and again supply it back. But which is not so in our country like India. What we do is whatever we use, say for example, 400 liters of water or 500 liters of water per capita per day, 80 and 90% of water we drain, and that water goes to the drains and that becomes a part of the polluted water. And this very fine study that I put it from a journal that we have, the Down to Earth, from that is being published since last say 35 years or so, very important journal, Down to Earth, you must be knowing. They conducted a study long back, maybe 10 years or so. What they have showed that Yamuna, they've taken a Yamuna which is passing in Delhi, in the eastern side of Delhi. It is just 2% of total length of Yamuna, which has a length of 22 kilometers. 2% of length of total Yamuna and 22 kilometers. But what it does, it adds 3,800 million metric tons of sewage every day, and that is discharged by 18 drains. And what we see that we have put a lot of money, this much of money, more than 300 crores, I mean more, in cleaning Yamuna and Ganga. The story is same for both the rivers, but what we have achieved, we do not know. So what we have, the state of water at some points, the ITO barrage and Nizamuddin bridge, Okhla barrage and Najafgarh drain. What is here? Dissolved oxygen handling and total coliform is 2,40,000 and ITO barrage. And Nizamuddin bridge 1,10,000. And here is a Okhla barrage, which is close to Jamia, my place, is 1,500 lakhs total coliform. So that should be ideally zero for the drinking, but for the standard economic activity, that should be 5,000, no more than that. So even if we are using this water for drinking for other economic activity, that's very poor state. Now see this white foam. That is not the snow and ice, look like snow and ice deposition, but it is not so. It is the polluted river Yamuna, that what we have. A person is worshipping because as per belief is fine. So So this is state of water quality, water consumption, and then release in the potable water, that is usable water, into the drains and all. Now, as I said, with the economic growth and liberalization, पहले एयर इंडिया चलती थी और बहुत कम लोग फ्लाई करते थे. अब जो है प्राइवेट प्लेयर्स आ गए फ्रॉम द फॉरेन कंपनीज. अब क्या है कि एवरीबडी वांट्स टू फ्लाई, nobody wants to travel by train. So what has happened? The flight time is 30 minutes, but go around is more than 30 minutes. So what is going to happen? The air pollution. I'll show you some more slides. As per World Health Organization 2008 data, China is leading in terms of death due to air pollution. India is second. We are second in terms of fastest economic growth, but we are second in terms of death due to air pollution. We are now third in COVID deaths and diseases. I pray that ऊपर वाला सबको ठीक करे जल्दी से, ये pandemic situation जल्दी से चला जाए, but it's going up. Maybe we are going to have be second. You never know, अल्लाह ना करे. ये सारी चीजें हैं. Now, this another issue. If I talk about the local level, there's shocking Delhi because of burning of staples that we are experiencing in the last 10-15 years. People argue that it was same, पहले भी जलाया जाता था, लेकिन अब प्रॉब्लम बढ़ गई है, प्रॉब्लम एग्रीवेट हुई है. तो ये दिखा रहा है कि these are burning sites, Jalandhar, Lahore, and many other parts of the, and this is state of affairs which are experiencing in different cities. So these are the areas where burning is taking place. These are satellite data, and these are the air quality data of breathe analyzer. What we have: PM 2.5, 525, 842, and more than 800 at RK Puram and Mandir Marg in Delhi. And this is state of affairs that we see. So what I'm trying to say is that with this all fastest economic growth now, ये क्यों होता है, जो इसके ऊपर एक लाइन बात करें, जो हमें पता है कि फार्मर्स चाहते हैं कि जल्दी से हम फील्ड क्लियर करें और उसको फिर हम दोबारा अपने सेकंड क्रॉप के लिए यूजेबल लाएं. So again, the economics comes into picture that उसको बर्न कर देते हैं वहीं, इंस्टेड ऑफ उसको कहीं ले आके डिस्पोज करें, कहीं और उसको यूज करें, रीयूज करें. तो उसमें ये दिखता है कि पैसे कम मिलेंगे, कोई फायदा नहीं, ट्रांसपोर्ट करने में इतने पैसे लगेंगे, एंड बेचने में उसमें पैसे बहुत कम मिलेंगे, तो यहीं जला दो. We get the manure and we get quickly the land cleared for the second crop. So these are the very important issue. Madam Chauhan, how much time I have more? Can you let me know so that I can? Chauhan ma'am, can you hear me? Dr. Raju, John? Hi.
Yes, sir.
How much time I have further?
So very interesting lecture. So you can take another 10 minutes?
Okay. 10 to 15 minutes is fine. 15 minutes?
Yes,
okay.
Sir, yes.
I do hope people like it and don't get bored. Okay. So what I'm showing you here is that the state of environment, what we are seeing, and I live in Delhi, and I see that the air quality index is never less than 400 and 450, which ideally should be around 50, 40 to 50, but we never experience that. Once we have a rain, then we get that 100 and 150, and then again next day, very next day, AQI goes to 400 and 500, even more than that. Now let us see. I put it 2 days back to justify. We all know, we have seen, but let us also since we are talking, I'm speaking on this issue. Let us see the economic growth relation, economic activities relation with the air and water vis-a-vis economic slowdown. So what we have seen that in the last little more than 2 months, all economic activities are shut across the country and across the globe. I'll show you some of the pictures that shows the economic slowdown at the local level, impact of at the local level and at the global level. Now see this one. There's a study that has been published recently in a journal that is called Science of Total Environment, and that shows that aerosols, optical depth, AOD, what we have seen. Now see, let's concentrate on the slide. What we see that darker picture shows a high AOD, aerosols concentration, and If you see the in the lower Ganga, lower Himalaya and in the higher Himalaya and the, in the Ganga plain, what we have, the high concentration of dark patches shows the concentration, high concentration of AOD, that is in 2019. And then if we see the 2020, early 20, this dark patches has gone down. Now see again, it has gone down. Now see again, it has less, and by 2020, in the end of, say, for example, June or so, all dark patches is gone. So what it clearly shows that you can have this full access of this, data and paper on this link, which I have showed it below. That in the country like India, with the economic slowdown and lesser economic activities and lesser vehicle on the road, this has, it has cleaned up. Now, if you see that at the local level, if I talk about at the Delhi, there is another study, different study that has recently published in again the same journal, the recent volume of the journal by Sushanta Mahato, changing NAQI, National Air Quality Index in city, National Capital Territory, 3rd March to 14 March. So there were a lot of interesting pictures and result that has been published in these papers. I've just put a couple of it from those interesting slides and pictures. Now see the 3rd of March, 10th of March, 14th of March. See the 3rd of March there was darker. See these are national air quality index. This is high. The red patches shows a high, and then if you go a little bit bluer side, so that shows a low. It was a very high, national air quality index. That was say average is say 309, 310. 2010 मार्च में आने के बाद काफी कम हो गया, 17 मार्च को काफी कम हो गया, 21 मार्च see the very interesting lockdown is standard lockdown started from 24th March, so they have tried to see before the lockdown and after the lockdown. 25 मार्च को देखिए, 27 मार्च, अप्रैल में आते आते ऐसी the whole state of change. That clearly speaks about the state of environment with the economic growth and the other issues. Now, if you see this one, the same study, the same paper, the NO2 NOx concentration in part per billion. 3rd March, it was high, but if you keep going, 17 March, it was same data, same time period. 14 अप्रैल आते आते देखिए काफी कम हो गया. Now with the opening of all these economic activities, if we do another analysis, I think somebody do the same authors do the another study post COVID. We are when all the economic activities opens up. So what is the state of affairs? So what we'll see that what was before. Sorry, what was before lockdown? And then we have improve upon same story, same situation come if we study say data of say 2020 this अभी हमारा जो जुलाई अगस्त का हमने या उसके बाद चले. So this shows the state of now. If you see this one, this data, daily pollution level fall during coronavirus shutdown. Average daily PM 2.5. We mostly there are different particulate matters PM 2.5 to PM 11 and so, but we are more concerned about 2.5 and PM 10 because it's more harmful to the human health. I don't want to speak on that because there are other issues that will take time. Now, if you see the 1st January, there's another study by Baduri and the Central Pollution Control Board. It's published in April 2020. It was about somewhat 4,000 microgram per meter cube, which has gone down. This is a lockdown, 22nd March, and then now it is little bit going up, slowly going up. I feel because of the opening up some of the partial opening of the country. Now this is the real picture. What we have, the Shanghai ranked first most death, 17,000 more than death, 17,600 in 2016. Beijing second most death, Delhi third in term because of the particulate matter 2.5. So this is state of affair in the winters what we see in Delhi. Now see, this is the contrasting picture what we see. The India Gate 17 October 2019. That was a pre-lockdown, little bit a couple of months before the lockdown, and then what we see here, the 8th of April, the same place, that shows that it speaks volume. And then the hypothesis, what I put it that this is the economic growth, liberalization, and the and more energy use, and so that leads to the global air quality and rising temperature. So these two real pictures, I just put it last week, 2 days back. The same, this full story, you can get it. I put it source Reuters.com. And then if you see this one, since I have touched upon two issues, air and water, so therefore I am showing you the two aspects. But you'll find n number of such pictures if you Google it. But I put it so that I can supplement my statement and word. Now see this one, Yamuna River, New Delhi, on 31st on 21st March 2018, and now see Yamuna River on the 8th of April 2020. So this is April 2020 data, and this is the 18 data, and that looks so solid melted snow and ice, glaciers, part of small piece of glacier, but which is not glacier, the foam that has come up from the pollutions. So these two contrasting pictures, same area, see these two buildings and high tension wire here, and these two buildings, and it's still this boat, stranded boat, unused boat is still there in the last 2 years and so. So again, this study and the picture from again the Reuters.com that you can see. You can see here that supplement what I've said. Now, if you see this one, just a minute, please. Ariz, बंद करो आवाज, दरवाजा बंद करो, आवाज बंद करो बेटा. I'm sorry. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
There was some little noise in my house, so I just stopped. If we see what is going to happen, there's a study that is by National Academy of Science 2008, Global Health and Education Foundation, that you can see from this. You can access this whole article from this link. What it says that 5,000 children die each day as a result of diarrhea, equaling to average one child dying every 0.2 seconds. हर 20 सेकंड पे एक बच्चे की डेथ हो रही है because of diarrhea. Why? Because of the excess of withdrawal of water, then release of water in the drains, and then in the resultant impact is that is impacting the water. Groundwater is getting polluted, surface and groundwater both. Now, if you see this left side, 2 in 3 people lack access to clean water, survive on less than $2 per capita per day. Women and girls, 5 women and girls in developing countries walk average of 6 kilometers per day to fetch water. 700 million people in 43 countries live below the water stress threshold, what I've showed you. India is one of that. It is very surprising and sad state that हम सब कुछ करने के बाद भी हमारा water per capita is going down. We are a water stress country. 443 million school days are lost each because of the school days are lost of the children because of the water-related diseases. So this is a state of affair. Obviously, I thought of putting some of the impacts what we are going to feel as a citizen and as a common citizen and people. Now, there was a study, very important study, Perry and et al. In 2000. Little old, but is very significant. What a study shows that on this side, on the x-axis, we have the global temperature, which I have talked about. This side, we have the hunger, malaria, flooding, million people at risk. How much people will be at a risk? So if we see, assume that 1 degree centigrade temperature, this is state of going to happen, say for example, risk of flooding. और 2 डिग्री टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज होता है ग्लोबल या किसी एरिया का, तो दिस मच ऑफ रिस्क ऑफ कोस्टल फ्लडिंग विल गोइंग टू टेक प्लेस. वी फील दैट ठीक है, होने से कोस्टल फ्लडिंग कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, बट दो पीपल दोज हु आर लिविंग देयर, they are being impacted. We are least concerned about that. No. So this side we have the attribute risk of hunger is increasing because you know that I have not put there was slide but I have deleted. Okay, with the increasing temperature, what amount of rice and wheat and staple crops is going to be lost? So what is the economic loss that we are going to experience because of the warming and uncertainty of the rainfall and so and so. रिस्क ऑफ मलेरिया आप कहोगे कि मलेरिया तो खत्म हो गया बहुत दिनों पहले वर्ड से बट इट इज नॉट सो वी हैव अनदर डिफरेंट फॉर्म ऑफ मलेरिया डेंगू डेंगी चिकनगुनिया all these are the different that is again the disease that is transmitted by the mosquitoes, different mosquitoes. So this is going to happen. Now the last one is the risk of shortage of water. So this is on the top. So I was more interested in showing this risk of water shortage rather than the malaria and the hunger and flooding. Why? Because this water is the most important elixir of life. I said it before. And if I say that there is a turnaround that is coming up at a fast rate, that is shrinking cities. If you Google, you'll find interesting article, shrinking cities. And that shrinking cities, if you see the westward, and even the Indian cities, the water level is going down and the water shortage is being felt. So what is happening? The people are moving out. And it's a very fact that I always say and feel that in Delhi, people are billionaire, very close to my house. We have the Friends colonies, defense colonies. These are, we have the rich people. But the moment if they do not have the water, what is going to happen? They are bound to leave their places. There's big palatial houses with luxury and everything. They are bound to leave. And if I give an example here that once we give a get a notice from the municipality that कल पानी सप्लाई कम होगा नहीं होगा बंद रहेगा वगैरह वगैरह 2 दिन के 1 दिन we start storing the water and then we feel the importance of water कि हम थोड़ा सा भी पानी बहाने में सोचते हैं 4 बार और वाटर को बचा के यूज करते हैं तो that is very important कि we need to conserve and protect the water, recharge the water. We should use judiciously the water. So the cities are going to be deserted. And I give 2 examples. One is of the Cape Town. We have heard in the news that Cape Town municipality said that we do not have water. What will happen once you do not have a bucket of water in the house? What will do? Forget about drinking. हम पानी चलो 1 घंटा 2 घंटा दिन भर ना पिए रोजा रहते हैं फास्टिंग करते रह सकते हैं. But what about the activities in the toilet and bathroom, in the what you call kitchen and many more things. So we will be forced to become the migrant and जो हम तड़ी पार जो कहते हैं जो लोग nomadic herder type का उस तरह से हमें भटकने के कगार में हम खड़े हैं. Not today, maybe in a couple of centuries from now. But the stage has started and we have a second example. If I give you Himachal Pradesh का आपने शिमला का सुना होगा कि last year there was water crisis and there was a shortage of inflow of tourists. 90%, 85-90% tourists नहीं गए थे वहाँ क्यों उनको पता था कि हम जाएंगे तो वहाँ टहल तो घूम सकते हैं लेकिन पानी हमें नहीं मिलेगा और we may be in the crisis and the whole economy of the such touristic places has been gone down. That is a big issue. Anyways, I don't want to come on that. So coming to the last part of this, what the world is doing. हम सब चीज कहते हैं कि साहब क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है और global नेताज और what लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. So there are a lot of meets and convention that has taken place. Now, if you talk about ozone depletion that has happened, इसके ऊपर global conference हुई थी Montreal में 87 में. क्लाइमेट चेंज हुआ था आप सब जानते हैं यूएन कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन एनवायरमेंट डेवलपमेंट रियो में हुआ था रियो प्लस हुआ सारी चीज़ें होती रही डेजर्टिफिकेशन में 94 में हुआ डिफॉरेस्टेशन पे कोई अभी तक कॉन्फ्रेंस नहीं हुई टिल टुडे एट द ग्लोबल लेवल लेकिन आई एम हैप्पी दैट कोई बात नहीं हुई होती हुई तो भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता इन द सेंस कि कुछ हम जहाँ हुई है जिसके ऊपर हुई वहाँ पे भी कुछ वी हैव नॉट अचीव एनीथिंग बाय नाउ बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस के ऊपर रियो में 92 में हुई पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ पे हुई कैरियो में 94 बहुत सारे इश्यूज में फ्रेश वाटर नेशनल कन्वेंशन ऑन नॉन नेविगेबल रिसोर्स इंटरनेशनल विच इज नॉट इन इफेक्ट वी हैव दैट बहुत सारी चीजें क्लाइमेट चेंज जो पेरिस में भी रिसेंटली हुई, जो 2015 में हुई, बट स्टिल नथिंग इज कमिंग आउट from all those convention and agreement. And we have seen in the last couple of years that the developed nation, those who are being impacted, especially the America and other countries, they walk away from these convention and they say we are not going to agree with this resolution that is going to be adopted after say 15 days or 10 days or 8 days long conferences. That is a big issue. Now, let me put up straight away question: who is responsible for all such activities? So my answer is straight away that human, because it has a direct relation with the developmental activities, which I showed you just before. Environmental change, that is due to anthropogenic activities, burning of fossil fuel, that I have showed you the energy use and burning of energy. Same way, if you go the coal and many other data, you'll find a lot of things. Deforestation, industrialization, and so on. So that leads to greenhouses. It has direct relation with the developmental activities. I've showed you with the pictures where we have the other gases together with the global warming gases. Now, let us see one couple of few pros and cons. Now, pros on the left side with the globalization and developmental activities and fast economic growth. Pros is that sharing of ideas and technology around the world. आज जो है देखिए टेक्नोलॉजी एंड आइडियाज जो शेयर करने में सो इजी, इंटरनेट एंड पेंडेमिक सिचुएशन इवन वी आर होल्डिंग क्लासेस और कॉन्फ्रेंसेस भी हो रही हैं, सेमिनार भी हो रही हैं, दैट इज गुड. Second is access to material which is unthinkable is now thinkable. For example, fresh foods. We all know that the nature has provided us different foods in different seasons, but we have the fruits in all year round. उसका सीजन हो चाहे ना हो, उसका हाइब्रिड वेराइटी हो ना हो, या हाइब्रिड वेराइटी है या ओरिजिनल है, आपको मिल रहा है. We are least concerned that it does not suit to the season, but still we consume and we get it. So we feel happy that we get that material all the year round. जबकि वो उसका नुकसान है rather than फायदा कम और नुकसान ज़्यादा, for which we are least concerned. The consequence of this development and the global level जो हमने देखा, जो चीज़ें किया, उसके वजह से जो issue. Now, cons is that wealth is not shared equally. We have seen the per capita income has increased. I have showed in the economic growth graph. वो hypothetical graph है in a sense that वो graph जो है pseudo graph है कि आपका wealth तो increase हुआ, GDP increase हुआ, लेकिन जो गरीब था वो वही गरीब रहा. A poor person who is getting wages say 380 रुपये per day as per government of India norms, और लेबर का जो पहले शायद जो है 20 साल पहले 100 रुपये उसका वेज था एक दिन का, अब वो 380 रुपये पाता है. उसका कितना परसेंट बढ़ा, कितना उसको जेब में पैसे आए. और इंजीनियर और डॉक्टर, एनी ट्रेन पर्सन हु वाज गेटिंग से फॉर एग्जांपल 10,000 या 5,000, आज वो उसको 2 लाख या 10 लाख रुपये मिल रहा है. So the net economic growth has gone up, but wealth is not shared equally. Pollution is now worse in poor countries, that we have seen. The loss of local identities is going at a very fast rate. Loss is going at a very fast rate. Now let us sum up with some of my own statement that I have coined. What to do in this situation? आप कहोगे कि साहब क्या हम इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ बंद कर दें, डेवलपमेंट को हम रोक दें? What should I do? I do not say that हम जो उसको बंद कर दें. हमें obviously टेक्नोलॉजी भी चाहिए, डेवलपमेंट भी चाहिए, हमें पैसे भी चाहिए, पानी भी चाहिए. Now everything we need to understand कि हमें सारी चीज़ चाहिए, कैसे चाहिए, at what cost, what you want. That is a big issue. Now let us see some of the points. Should we keep business as usual in the name of development? क्या हम अपना जो हम कर रहे हैं डेवलपमेंट और विकास के नाम पे, जो सारे नेता विकास की बात करती हैं, सारी पार्टीज विकास की बात करती हैं, और विकास कौन सा है? इफ आई आस्क यू कि साहब व्हाट इज डेवलपमेंट, हम शुरू में बात नहीं किया हमने बिकॉज ऑफ टाइम, तो हम बात करते हैं पहले इसके ऊपर 10 मिनट की व्हाट इज डेवलपमेंट. नो, तो डेवलपमेंट क्या है इसके ऊपर इफ आई आस्क यू, नो वन कैन डिफाइन व्हाट इज डेवलपमेंट. आज डिफाइन कर दोगे, कल नहीं होगा, बिकॉज इट इज सब्जेक्टिव वर्ड. इस टाइम के हिसाब से, पर्सन के पर्सन के हिसाब से चेंज होता रहता है. आज हमारे पास कहा जाए कि दिस इज द बेस्ट, इफ आई से दिस इज द बेस्ट डेफिनेशन ऑफ डेवलपमेंट, मुझे से पूछा जाए 10 दिन बाद, 1 महीने बाद, आई चेंज द डेफिनेशन बिकॉज इज क्वालिटेटिव टर्म and more qualitative in a sense that because it varies from person to person, even for same person it varies, बिकॉज कि हमारा आज सोच कुछ और है, कल कुछ सोच और हो जाएगा, तो सारी चीजें बदल जाएंगी. So, should we keep business as usual in the name of development? That is a big question that you have to answer. Can a state central government take proper effective action mitigation? ये भी एक सोचने की बात है. हम सब चीज गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर छोड़ देते हैं, जबकि ऐसा नहीं है, नहीं होना चाहिए. Can we do something collectively, individually? हम क्या कर सकते हैं collectively as a RWA, as a responsible citizen of the urban area, the city or village, या अकेले? अलार्म इज ऑलरेडी ऑन. इसके ऊपर अलार्म जो हमने बात कही, स्पेशली दो चीज को लेकर, एयर एंड वाटर पोल्यूशन के ऊपर, अलार्म इज ऑलरेडी ऑन एंड राइजिंग कंटिन्यूसली, बट वी आर नॉट लिसनिंग अलार्म. व्हाई? बिकॉज वी हैव क्लोज आवर ईयर्स. हमने ये हेडफोन लगा लिए कान में, ये तो अभी हमने आधे घंटे के लिए लगाया, इसलिए लगाया कि चलो आज लेक्चर देना है. अदरवाइज व्हाट वी डू इज द नेम ऑफ डेवलपमेंट. हमारे हाथ में मोबाइल आ गया, ये इसमें हम लगा लेते हैं इसका हेडफोन, और इसमें हम जब ऑफिस से निकलते हैं अपने कार में बैठ के, तो हम अपना गाना सुनना शुरू कर देते हैं एफएम पे, ठीक है ना, अच्छे अच्छे गाने. तो हमने कान बंद कर लिया. ओके, वी हैव क्लोज आवर आईज बिकॉज हमने मेट्रो में चल रहे हैं, हमने एक नावल ले लिया एंड वी हैव स्टार्टेड रीडिंग द इंग्लिश नावल इन द नेम ऑफ टू बी कॉल्ड एज स्मार्ट एंड मोस्ट डेवलप. तो हमने आँख भी बंद कर लिया, ठीक है ना. जब हमने दो सेंसिंग ऑर्गन्स हमने जो अल्लाह भगवान ने दिया उसको बंद कर लिया, आँख कान, तो नाक तो अपने आप बंद ही हो जाएगी, है ना. तो आँख कान नाक बंद कर लिया हमने. वी डू नॉट सी एनीथिंग, वी डू नॉट लुक एट द प्रॉब्लम, वी डू नॉट सी राइट एंड लेफ्ट. वी हैव पुट ऑन द ग्लास ऑफ द कार, और हम इमिशन करना शुरू कर दिए, एसी लाइट ऑन कर दिया. नो, तो जब आँख कान नाक बंद हो गया, तो जो चौथा सेंसर है, जो हमारा ब्रेन है, जो वो भी जबान और ब्रेन जो हम कहें एक तरह से, वो भी बंद हो जाता है. अलार्म इज ऑलरेडी ऑन एंड राइजिंग कंटिन्यूसली. We are not listening. When we wake up from our routine work and feel concerned about our environment, it's a $1 billion question. No, it's a $1 billion question, but there is no answer to it. I don't have any answer. Maybe you have an answer to that. Okay, maybe you can say that this is the answer, but I see that the answer is somewhere lies in the individual, concern, individual act on action and collective action. We should not leave things on the state and government and central government. दिल्ली में सरकार जो केजरीवाल की काफी अच्छा मुझे एक तरह से इस तरह से लगता है कि वो कहते हैं कि साहब मेरे पास कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं है. सोल्यूशन, प्रॉब्लम आप बताओ, उसका सोल्यूशन भी आप ही बताओ कि इसको कैसे करना है. एंड थर्ड इज, हम आपको पैसे देंगे, विल एलोकेट द ग्रांट, और उस सोल्यूशन को आप लोग इम्प्लीमेंट करो मिलके एज ए लोकल सिटीजन. या नाउ आई कंक्लूड विद दिस स्टेटमेंट दैट इफ यू आर नॉट पार्ट ऑफ सोल्यूशन, then you are a part of problem. So if you are not a part of solution, then you are a part of problem. That my strong feeling with that. I do hope that you will agree with me. So thank you so much to the organizer and the St. John's College, that I'm very happy and glad to be with you this morning and share some of my ideas, and I could sensitize some of the issues to you. I do feel that you will take care in your day-to-day life. Maybe individual will lead to the community, and community will lead to the state and nation and the region, and that is solution. That solution lies in that. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone. If you have any observation, comment, please feel free to interact. Yes, please.
Thank you, Professor Atik, for giving us such a detailed talk, and you have covered every issue. Now, without wasting much time, I think there is time for only one or two questions. Mr. Bob Gardner, are there any questions that you would like to ask?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I just wanted to ask one thing, that in the beginning you were talking about the migration patterns and growing population. So I just wanted to ask that we know this by the demographic transition theory. We have seen that there has been a declining trend in population post 1920s, 30s. So according to you, right now in the Indian context, what is the main problem? Is it the fertility rate, or we have to manage the migration patterns? What, according to you, is more important?
See, it's a very important issue what you have raised. That I feel that it is not the fertility rate. Because if you see the fertility rate, that is population increases by two factors. One is the natural growth and second is the migration. So the first aspect what we have raised is that fertility has gone down in the rural areas also. If you see the family size, if you see your own family, your father and grandfather, हर फैमिली में 8-10 बच्चे होते थे, 8-10 भाई बहन होते थे, no? चाहे सिख हो या हिंदू हो मुसलमान हो. Now that has gone down family size in the rural areas and also in the urban areas. Urban areas में बगैर कहे, you are not in a position to afford more than 1 or 2 child. But it is the migration, तो अभी जो आपने देखा वो कोविड के दौरान जो है मोदी जी ने बड़ा अच्छी बात कही और उन्होंने भी नीतीश कुमार जी ने भी कहा कि जो माइग्रेंट लेबर गए तो उन्होंने कहा कि भाई हम इनको अपने गांव में ही देंगे. और जॉफर्स बहुत दिनों से इस चीज़ को कहते चले आ रहे हैं, इस बात को रेज करते चले आ रहे हैं कि अगर जो हमें क्या कहते हैं कि उनको वहीं मिले तो वो माइग्रेट नहीं करेंगे. जो हमने ग्राफ दिखाया आपको कि फास्ट इंक्रीजिंग अर्बन पॉपुलेशन, जो अर्बन पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीज है बिकॉज ऑफ द माइग्रेशन मेनली, that I've showed, I've explained to you before. तो अगर जो वही मिले, अगर जो मैं ये मानता हूँ कि अगर जो किसी को अपने घर के आसपास शायद 5,000 रुपये का काम मिल जाए तो नहीं जाएगा 10,000 रुपये की नौकरी के लिए शहर में. So that will solve a lot of problems. That will solve a lot of problems. So I feel that it is a migration which is the root cause of. तो जब शहर में नहीं आएंगे लोग तो जो पानी हम जो बात कर रहे थे जिस इशू के ऊपर हमने टच किया, तो पानी जो है शहर में आने के बाद पाइप खोल दिया बह रहा है, हमें कंसर्न ही नहीं है, स्विच दबा दिया और बह रहा है पानी, हमें फिक्र ही नहीं है कि हम उसको बंद कर दें. तो ये सारी एक तरह से काफ़ी कुछ प्रॉब्लम है ना, दैट विल बी मिनिमाइज. सो आई फील दैट इज माइग्रेशन. यस प्लीज. आई होप you got my answer, Bob.
Yeah. So therefore, yes, saying that it is important to manage cities and villages more. So in relation to this, if we see the attitude of India in the climate summits, more specifically the Paris Agreement, if we talk about. So India has been a vocal critic of on the basis of management of absolute emissions rather than per capita emissions. So do you think India should alter its narrative, because right now we are talking about smart cities and not of sustainable cities, which is a very different term. So do you think we should be what in India is more practical, to concentrate on on smart cities, or should we be talking about sustainable cities?
I'm a very strong activist against the smart cities, because we are spending this much of money and you are again creating unbalance. You are developing a pocket where you have everything और उसी के बगल में 1 किलोमीटर के बाद 2 किलोमीटर के बाद कुछ भी नहीं है. So I am very against to that. I even against to this central vista that government has proposed 20,000 लाख करोड़. तो ये पैसे अगर जो इसको खर्च कर दिया जाए तो बहुत सारे एरियाज का विकास और बहुत सारी गाँव की दिशा ठीक की जा सकती है. So I'm a very strong opponent of these smart cities or central vista or any such developmental activities. I feel that we should spend on infrastructure. Otherwise हम सब पैसे होने के बाद भी हम थोड़ी सी बारिश हुई दिल्ली बम्बई जैसे शहर में और 10 मिनट का रास्ता हम 2 घंटा लगता है. क्यों लगता है? इसीलिए लगता है कि वी आर लेस कंसर्न. वी आर कोई भी गवर्नमेंट आ जाए, चाहे किसी भी गवर्नमेंट आ जाए, मैंने तो अपनी लाइफ में यही देखा है कि nobody is concerned with the development of infrastructure, which is the base of the any development of any country. We spend less than 1% of the total economy on infrastructure in the country even today. ये क्यों कब खर्च करेंगे, कब नाले रोड पे खर्च करेंगे, कब बिजली पानी पे करेंगे, I don't know. But a very sad story. I could see a lot of questions in the chat box. So I do not know should I take up or maybe it is better people ask directly. Yes, please.
Sir, actually, there is another meeting. The people are waiting to.
I see.
So we really don't have time.
I'm sorry, I took a lot of time than the assigned time.
Enjoyed, and I'm sure people have gained by your presentation. And the questions they have, they can keep onto you. They can go onto YouTube and see it.
Yeah, they can see it. They can send an email also, text, WhatsApp.
Yes, sir.
I'll be happy to respond.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you so much for your nice graphics. Even the the names of the journals you gave, which will be very useful for our research scholars, our students, and also our assistant professors. Thank you so much. Now I will call Ms. Shalomin Sharma to give the formal vote of thanks. And after that, Dr. Rohan D'Souza will give an announcement.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I think I'm audible.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Oh, sorry, good morning, sir.
Good
As we
morning.
have already reached the end of the event, it is my privilege to propose a formal vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee of this webinar series. First and foremost, I thank the Almighty for leading, guiding, and blessing us in our endeavor to organize this webinar. I also thank Professor Ashok Mittal ji, the Vice Chancellor of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Agra, for his blessings. I extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to the resource person for the day, Professor Atikur Rahman ji, Department of Geography, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. Thank you, sir, for accepting our humble invitation and gracing us with your presence. We are truly enriched and made very well aware of the environmental changes which can occur because of population increase and technological innovations. The serious consequences of global warming and the need and importance of water conservation was also very strongly and efficiently dealt with. Thank you for this, sir. I strongly believe that the talk was beneficial for all the participants. We, the organizing team and the Department of Geography, are indebted and thankful to our Honorable Principal, Professor Dr. S.P. Singh, for his constant support and towering presence throughout this event. Special thanks is due to Dr. P.A. Majid, the head, Department of Geography, and the chairperson of this webinar. He is always at hand and motivates and inspires us with his presence. I also thank Dr. Neelia L. Chauhan, the convener of the webinar. It is through her commendable efforts that we are able to listen to such eminent speakers all these days. The collective and tireless efforts of the organizing team is what has made this program into a fruitful one. In this reference, I would like to individually thank Dr. J. Andrew, Dr. Preeti P. Masi, Dr. Vidhu Grace Noel, Dr. Bob Stanley Gardner, Dr. Rohan J. D'Souza, Dr. Mahima Habil Massey, and Dr. Barkha Bain Singhal, who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Thanks is also due to the technical team which was there with us throughout the program and ensured that there were no technical hindrances. Last but not the least, I thank all of you that you spared your precious time to join us. This program would not have been successful without you all. I do hope that you all had a meaningful time and stay tuned with us for such more events. As I sign off, I wish you all a very good day and a safe day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Rohan, can you please upload the brochure for the next?
If I may be allowed to share my screen, ma'am.
Yes. Technical team, please share Rohan's screen.
Yes, sir. You can share your screen.
Johan, ma'am, shall I leave because I have my another
Yes,
meeting is going.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Is the poster visible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, it is.
All right. A very good morning to all present here. We've had a most wonderful, meaningful presentation, and I'm sure you've gained a lot of insight into environmental disaster, especially on the two things like global warming and things focused on by Sir just now. And now we are announcing our forthcoming webinar, which will be on the 14th of July at 10 a.m. This will be by Dr. O.P. Mishra. He is a leading scientist at the Ministry of Earth Sciences, based at New Delhi just now. And he will be talking about earthquake risks, their prevention and risk mitigation, right from the process of genesis of earthquakes to how we can mitigate their risks and a better understanding into the physics of earthquake generation and basically building earthquake resilient structures and all those things. So I'm sure you'll be with us next Tuesday, and I wish you a meaningful time. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please register and circulate further because he's a very eminent speaker also. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, my co-conveners. Thank you, Rohan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, all the participants. Technical team, can we put off the screen now?